Hi there guys, you join me with a Ford Focus ST Mark 4.5 facelift, and this one's been Mountune M330 package. So I'm going to talk all about the Mountune package for this car. Up to 330 brake horsepower, so that's up from 280. Torque's gone up as well. Car looks so cool in facelift, by the way, making a good little rumble noise. I have got a full review on this car and I'll leave everything in the description for the drives that I've had in this car. This video purely on the Mountune M330 package. Torque increased, power increased. Although I've driven this car, I haven't pushed it yet. So really interested to know and give you kind of a thought of like from the owner as well. This car's on about 5,000 miles. The owner's owned it about 5-6 months. Super excited. I like how you actually get a few bits. I didn't realise you actually get an air filter and then you just keep the stock one. Very simple. So it's like a K&N. Oh, so is this like a washable one?
Yes, it's badged Mountune, but it is K&N. There we go.
Gotcha. And then this is like linked up to your phone then,
yeah.
Or is it linked up to the car?
Yes.
Then you go.
And then we've got my files is basically so you've got your stock map, M330. Oh, the immobiliser. So if I go on holiday now, the only way you're going to get the car to start, the port plugged in, and this is pin locked on the app.
That's super
so you've got the
cool.
passcode, so it actually is a nice little feature.
That is really
cool. And it completely immobilises the car until you plug that back in. So then, for example, we've got dashboard there. I mean, it's just little things like you.
Oh, that's cool. So if I actually...
Performance analyzer.
Mountune M330. From an owner's point of view, before I kind of like actually properly push it, how have you found this new?
Yeah,
I can already tell
it's taken everything up a notch or two. It's for me the torque difference is the noticeable change.
Because you've got what a big 50 horsepower increase.
Yeah. And
I'll put like torque curves and everything of like the power graphs compared from stock to Mountune, and it's just so much more linear.
Yeah. The
top end sounds like it's going to be really good.
More pops and bangs. It actually rewards you more for revving out now.
Oh, this is going to be exciting.
Now it's an ideal spot if you put your foot down in fourth now with the torque. You really get that push.
Oh wow,
yeah.
Proper at the back.
Yeah, that's the difference.
That's really nice. Okay. I still can't get over the price.
Yeah, it's for what it is, it's an absolute bargain.
They test these and they work really hard. This was available on the Mark 4 as well, so it wasn't just for the Mark 4.5 facelift. Yeah. It's not like it hasn't had time for owners to kind of experience it.
And obviously Mountune have had years of experience with fast forwards.
Yeah, I like the little bangs as well at the back. Certainly getting to grips with kind of like how the throttle works and how it like goes up in the revs. I think it's really nice, really linear, which is what you want from a car. Works well with the gearbox. I think it helps how you've got auto rev matching so that you're not going to damage your clutch. You can put the Mountune badge on it if you want at the back. Yeah. But if you don't, it's like magnetic grey. It's a proper sleeper. Rolling, once you're above sort of 30 miles an hour, this is got some serious shot.
I think, it'd keep up with a lot of stuff this would now. In the dry. And in the wet, once you're moving, it would as well. Because it's actually, I'm surprised how well the chassis handles once you're on the move and the tyres are warm.
Yeah.
And how the diff works.
I mentioned before in the previous drives that I've driven this car on track, and you can get a track pack for this now for the facelift. Straight away, I'd be saying in my head, get this for £600 and take it on track. Because that's when you're also going to get an idea of that top end. Also find some fun roads like, oh yeah,
there we go. Got some warmth in the tyres now.
There we go. So that was a second gear pull up to 6, and it actually felt like, oh, it's really nice, man. It's really nice. And
yeah, that marble
is it like
it sounds like the old 5 pod, doesn't it? Yeah.
I guess if you downshift it as well.
Yeah, you do. There you go. But it's like on 5 when it happens properly. It really pops and bangs.
The front end actually it delivers it really well round corners.
It's surprising actually.
It really is. Oh, how much fun you can have in the limits. I love the noises. We're literally probably the only real people who can talk about this car in terms of like the facelift. And you've owned it, you've driven it for 5,000 miles, you've driven it stock, you've driven it with the Mountune. I've driven it stock, I've driven it with the Mountune. We've driven it around these roads, we've driven it in the dry, driven it in the wet. We have such a huge overview. For me, the one thing I noticed was wasn't worth taking it to 5 and above, which I think the power graph says that in stock.
Yeah, it just drops off.
Now it is. Yeah. That's literally all it's done. That's literally, and that has given you that peak fun. You have that ability now to get that 330 horsepower.
Yeah.
And certainly the torque, as we found on the dual carriageway, and you quite rightly said to me when we were in fourth, put your foot down, what was it, about 60 miles an hour?
Yeah, third gear. Yeah, sorry, 3,000 RPM.
Yeah, gone.
Yeah.
Like you feel it at the back, literally lower back, you feel it push you.
I think the peak torque's moved up the rev range a bit as well from stock, so you're getting more satisfaction when you're in race mode, as it was, when you put your foot down, and it's all the power's been moved up a bit. So that's what you want really when you want to have fun. It's not good for fuel economy, but you know.
I mean, you can still get 40 miles a gallon, can't you? If on like a that's a proper bang. And that's the good thing about having a manual gearbox, because you know in second you can't go above 60, so you know we're in the limit.
I think the other thing as well, third, you know, second's more satisfying in terms of the noise, but third you can ride that torque.
Oh yeah,
it just gives you that push. And
obviously you're gonna kick on. Oh, I'm really impressed. The way that they've mapped this is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It's so good. And I did have my experience in my Fiesta ST200, which was revoed, and that felt great as well. But you're never too sure, because there's so many places you can get who can just plug an OBD port in and you can think you changed the world. But trust me, you've got to have the engineering know-how. It feels almost like serious to a point, doesn't it? Like genuinely capable, not just
I bet it's
not
sort of
just for a
Type R
laugh.
level of performance now.
It's even more of a driver's car now.
Yeah.
Oh man, like I'm genuinely not just saying this because you're sitting next to me or anything. I feel like, thinking of it stock, in normal mode, everyday mode, sort of just cruising around, you're not getting any difference really. And you've kind of said economy doesn't really change too much either.
Yeah, it's exactly. I feel it's exactly the same in normal
everything
mode.
Is the same. All that's changed is that when you want to go a little bit harder, or even in the mid-range when you're sort of cruising along, it's opened up like 20% of the rev range at the top. It literally improved the car by 20% for 600 quid. It's really on it. I love how you can have a 330 brake horsepower car with what, 515?
515, yeah.
And you can then be taking your family cruising on the motorway at 40 mpg.
Yeah.
I tell you what it does remind me of a lot, which is a good example, is I had a lot of experience driving Hyundai i20Ns and i30Ns.
Yeah.
It feels like that, which is good, which is a very good thing.
Yeah, I mean,
particularly as they feel very capable. Their designers and their engineers are proper good.
I mean, didn't the guy that developed that come from BMW?
BMW M, I think. I've spoken quite a lot. Would you recommend this to people? What's like your main positives, I suppose, to make like a summary of it?
Of the car in general, or just the Mountune?
Of the Mountune.
The Mountune, yeah. So it's just, for me, it's kind of made the car what it probably should have always been. It feels like Ford have developed the car with this map on it. That's the only way I can describe it. If people are worried about messing up the car by going Mountune or going, you know, down the map route, all I can say is this Mountune feels OEM, and it's not taking anything away from the car, it's just added. So, and if you want to, if you want to drive it stock, you just ease off the throttle a bit. You know, you've got that,
if you want to
versatility now, you know, or just put the original map back on. For me, it's a no-brainer, and I'm so happy I did it. You know, and you seem to be enjoying it, so
it's so much fun. If I was to say any negatives, it's just you have to be a bit more of a driver. You have to be more sensitive on your throttle. You know, you've got 330 horsepower now from a front-wheel drive car. You can't expect miracles.
You know, especially on a day like today. On a dry day, you can get the power down. The diff works really well, and you don't struggle.
Would you genuinely say the noise? So the noise is now louder with the tune.
Yeah, it's less consistent, I would say, when you're driving normally. But when you do when you get in the zone with the car and you're flowing on some roads and the engine's warmed up, it starts popping and banging a lot more and higher in the rev range, so it is more satisfying.
I quite like that inconsistency because it means you kind of, it's less expected.
Yes, and it makes it's more exciting. It does happen, it adds to the experience, it's more rewarding as well.
But you feel very safe even when... Oh, it keeps going.
Yeah, that overrun, and sometimes the overrun keeps going and then you get the bangs just keep going as well. It's so inconsistent, but when it happens it is rewarding, satisfying.
Yeah, it doesn't stop pulling. I love the linearity. That's the huge thing for me. I think by now people should be getting this. If you've got a Mark 4 Focus ST, even if it's not a facelift, you've got to be going for this. Comment below and subscribe.